like I said in the previous lesson, I said we are going to be dealing with forms. You know, forms are a very important part of HTML. Or even any web development. So, what are forms? HTML forms are a kind of fundamental component of a web development that allows users to submit data to a server. To a server. You know, forms allow users to submit data to a server. So, for example, you have login forms. If you're trying to um, enter your credentials to any login page, it's you are sending a data to a server. You understand? So that is one of the functions of a form or forms. So forms consist of various elements such as input fields, checkboxes, radio buttons, drop down menus, and buttons, which are defined using HTML tags and attributes in this kind of response. So in this response. So I will explain the main HTML form elements that and provide example of how to use them. So let's say we have something like say form. Let's say we have form tag like this. Form tag, of course, is used to create a form and encloses all the form elements. So it has various attributes like previous element too. Of course, all element has attributes. So which include this has a specific attribute which includes actions. Now, what does the action do? The action specifies the URL where the form data will be sent upon submission. You understand? Then it has another one called method. What is method or what does it do? Method defines the HTTP method used for form submission. It is usually maybe say get or post. You understand? Those are the two kind of methods. So whenever you hear method, just know they are talking about either get or post method. You understand? So method is either you're trying to get request or what post request. So let's say we have something like say form with the attribute um say action equals say let me say submit form, for example. Submit form. Let's say action equals what? Submit form. And method equals say post. You understand? And let's see, let me put a comment here so that you will have understanding of what say form elements go here. So that those are what where form elements. So for it's not a self-closing tag, so we have to close it. So form. So that is that about form. That's that about action. So another one is of course sorry, that's that about action and method attribute on forms. So another thing that we should always that is most important in forms is a tag that's called input. Input is input. A very important aspect of forms. You understand? Of course, you have to specify your input. The input tag create various type of input fields. It has attributes such as it has its own attribute too. So it has attributes such as type, um, name, and value. Type specifies the type of input field, e.g., text, password, checkbox, radio, and so on. Then name assigns a kind of unique name to the input field for identifying it on the server. Then value, what does value do? Value sets the default value for the input field. So we can have something like this. Let me try to give about say five input fields. So let's say we have type. I've told you what type is. Um, let's say this one is equal to test. You understand? And let's say uh another attribute, say name equals to username. So this is what is going to go into this kind of input. Let's say value. Let's say value. You can say John Doe. Let's say John Doe. You may have seen several value imputed in an input column where you'll be seeing John Doe. So this is where John Doe comes from. So we have another one, say input. I like to use my name. I like to use my name. Let's say Tintin. You can put your name. It doesn't matter. So we have say type. We have type. Let's say password. Yes, let me use password there. Let me use password here. Let's say password. Let's say name. Of course, name is also what? Password. Name equals password. Name equals what? Password, of course. And you can angular bracket. Then we can have another input. I'm going to explain all these anyways. Input, you can say type checkbox. Type equals what? Checkbox. You can say type equals checkbox. You can say name uh, equals subscribe, and value equals true. Let's say value equals true. You can have another one. Have another input. Say type radio. Type equals radio. And say type equals radio. You can say name. Name equals say gender. Can as well say value equals say male. Value equals male. Value equals male. Then of course you can just create a male. You understand? So that you can as well substitute create another one for female. So that is that about input. But I'm going to send a note on input and a kind of a chart for all the input that we have. So I made mention of checkbox here and radio. The difference between radio and checkbox is that radio only allows you to choose to take out of to select one option. You understand? That is what radio does. But checkbox allows you to select multiple, make multiple choices, while you only have one choice in radio. So that is just the difference between checkbox and radio. So we're gonna be seeing them. I'm going to send a kind of graph, or sorry, a kind of explanation in notes and um, infographic note to differentiate these types of input. So another one that we have is text area. Text area tag. Let me see text area. We have text area tag. The text area tag kind of creates a multi-line text input area. It has attributes such as name, rows, and columns. What does name do? Name assigns a name to text area for identification. Then rows specifies the number of visible rows in the text area. Then columns specify the number of visible columns in the text area. So this is an example of how we can use it. We can say, let me put in some attribute. We can say something like say name. Um, Name equals say message. Name equals say message. We have rows equals what? Say four. We have columns say equals say 40, and we have, let me close it, sorry, say uh sorry, let me just say we have we can close it, exterior. So that is that. The other one that we have is select tag. Select tag creates a kind of drop down menu. It contains one or more option tags as children, so which represent the available options. So it has attributes such as name and multiple. Name assigns a name to the select element, and multiple allows multiple selections if present. Say, let's say this is select tag. This is what select tag. So let's say we have something like say we can say, let me give it an attribute of let me give this attribute name equals say country. I'll say country. Then inside you can create an option for drop down. You can have create an option for drop down. Say option. You can have option value equals say uh, US. You can say US. No, let me give it Nigeria. You can say Nigeria NG. You can say Nigeria. Uh, say option. You understand? You can have another option. Say um, option value equals to say GH or CM. We can say that one is what Cameroon option. We can give an option of say value say Ghana or Kenya or whatever. Let's say GH Ghana, say Ghana option, and of course you can add more. You can add more. So let me stop here so that things waste precious time. So that's what option does. It gives room for selection. It makes user to be able to select several uh, several to make choices amongst list of options. You understand? So another one that we have is another one we have is form element that we have is we have the button. The button. We have the button. The button tag creates a kind of button within a form. It can be used for form submission or to trigger JavaScript functions. It has attributes such as type, which specifies the behavior of the button, e.g., submit, reset, or simply button. So let's say we have. Let me give you an attribute. Say type. Say type. Let me give it an attribute. Say type. Submit. Let's say submit. Uh, of course, submit. Say submit. Then of course, button. It's a button. Of course, you can have another. You can have another one. Sorry. You can have another one. Say reset. Let me put this one reset. If you have another one reset and call it what reset. And the third one is what triggers kind of JavaScript um, method or function. So this one is say, let's say type buttons, let's say button. Then what should happen after the button? Let's say after on click equals. So let me put a JavaScript function there. Let's say my function click equals this. So you can just say click me. Just say click me. You understand? So these are just some of the main HTML form elements and their attributes. You know, there are additional elements like we have field set, we have legend, and we have more attributes that can be used to enhance and customize forms. You understand? So like I said, we have different kind of HTML input types. We have the text input, we have the password input, we have the radio button, submit button, we have the reset button, we have buttons, we have the email input, we have the number input, we have the date input, and we have the file upload, range input, hidden input, search input. Which one again? URL input, and so on and so forth. So these are just a few examples of HTML input, input types. So each type has its own purpose and behavior, and it allows developers to create different types of forms field based on their requirement. And remember, here I use on click. What is this on click? On click is just an attribute that is used to specify the JavaScript function that should be executed when an element is clicked. It's commonly used with buttons and other interactive elements to trigger a specific actions or behavior when clicked by the user. So of course, I don't want to go straight into, because if I bring out how it's been used, I'm going straight to JavaScript, and I don't want that. So let's just forget about that, and let's forget about that. So our next one will be on. We're gonna be talking on five parts. You understand? We are going to be discussing five parts. Or let me just five parts. Let me just okay. Okay, our next class is gonna be on five parts. So we're gonna be discussing five parts. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless.